Accident Seller came and says, regarding fantasy, I saw Dragonslayer in 1981 on VHS as a teen, and it was fantastic. Awesome dragon. Love the wizard. It also had a brief scene of young woman skinny dipping, and I paused that way too much.
That was a Disney movie to show you how far they've come. And that movie, on top of being amazing, if you've never seen it, and it's an incredible fantasy film, there is the hero goes into a cave to rescue a girl, and he finds baby dragons eating her.
Oh.
Like one of the dragons has her arm in his mouth, and he's like, and I'm like, this is 1981 PG wasn't messing around.
Wow.
It's a really, really good movie, and the dragon is all practical, amazing, and it just shows how far, honestly, I feel that Disney's fallen, because that was during like the dark era.
Okay, so we're going to go into we call these a side quest, where we just kind of go in a totally different direction where we're going here. And I know that we have a lot of different directions, including our show and tell, which we want to get to. But we're having such a good conversation here. I was watching, I try to have movie night with my kids, right? And last night we had a movie night, and we sat down for the first time. I watched with my 10-year-old Cool Runnings.
Oh my gosh.
Love Cool Runnings.
That movie.
Okay. So
Jamaica Man!
Right,
my lucky
egg. So we watched Cool Runnings last night, and I have no problem showing her these movies from the early 90s, whether it's Mighty Ducks, whether it's Aladdin, this era of Disney, which was obviously like a golden era, whether they're animated or and I look at these movies that they had and the goodwill from people that are my age, right, who now have children, who Disney was such an important brand to so many people, I would say our age, right? Growing up, we'd watch these films. They were an important part of our childhood. They literally helped shape, our personalities, our lives, whatever. And to see how, as you mentioned, how far Disney has fallen, just with that goodwill, that so many people don't really have a whole lot of interest in Disney products now, and Disney movies now, that they're kind of scrambling. I would love to hear your thoughts on that, Cecil.
I'm going to plug again.
Yeah.
I did a video a while ago of The Black Hole, which was Disney's first PG movie. And it was dark. It was violent. It was a very, very weird, oppressive sci-fi film. It was very strange, and it is kind of a love it or hate it film. But looking at it from the importance of it, Disney was losing money hand over fist back then. They were failing, and they were going to go out of business, and they needed to make some changes. And so they decided that they were going to kind of expand beyond, they were still going to make family movies per se, but they were going to make them a little bit more for adults and children. And so they did the Black Hole. And there were people that were protesting. They were mad that how dare Disney do a PG film, and it changed the way that Disney went, because in that direction they did the Black Cauldron. They did a lot of dark. It was during what was called the dark era of Disney, and to see that evolve and look at that and look at how a lot of people that worked on Star Wars were working on them, and it's just a lot of incredible work. The video is 45 minutes long, because I was 50 years of history that I went over. The film had 20 name changes, and it's one of my personal favorite videos that I've ever done. I think it's an incredible work, and it took me months and months and months of research to put together. But it's fascinating, and seeing them kind of do that. And now I honestly feel like they're almost going backwards, in the sense that they're kidifying too much of their stuff. Every movie now comes out, and here's this really big dramatic scene. The world's coming to an end, and somebody's like, "Oh, sucks to be you." Everybody's got a joke, everybody's got a one-liner, right? And it doesn't feel natural anymore. It feels really forced and weird. And I was sad because way back in 2016, when The Force Awakens came out, Disney had taken over Star Wars, and they put that out, And I was like, okay, you know what? It's kind of a soft reboot of the original Star Wars, but I felt that there was enough differences, and I felt at the time that it was like, okay, there's a lot of potential here for where they could go with the trilogy, and I was pretty excited. And then after that, I really think, and a lot of people I know agree with this, is that the shoe dropped with The Last Jedi, where it was like, wait a minute, everything that they set up with this went in the left, like none of this makes any sense anymore. Like, what the hell even is this? And like, I remember I went to see that in the theater, and I went in, I was going to review it, and I went in and I sat down, and I sat next to a couple of like older gentlemen. And I was talking to them before the movie started, and they're like, oh man, I really enjoyed the last Star Wars movie. It was so great, and I'm excited to see this, and I've loved Star Wars since I was a little kid. And after the movie ended and the credits started rolling, I looked over at him, and he looked at me, and he's like, what did you? And I'm like, I don't know. And he's like, for the first time in my life, I'm seeing a Star Wars movie that I don't like. And he didn't know how to process it. And I was like, yeah, I'm kind of the same way. And I decided when I got home and I saw the internet kerfluffle over it, where everybody was, it was, the worst thing ever and the best thing ever. This is exactly what Star Wars needed. And I was like, you know what? I don't think I feel like doing a review on this, because I really just didn't want to get into the middle of that fracas.
Right.
So I could be a little long-winded sometimes. I'm sorry.
No, dude, it's okay. Listen, you work on the internet. It's okay.
I do kind of talk for a living, but
yeah.
I think that it's really disappointing the direction Disney's going. I think that they need I don't want to say they need to just do a mass firing and clean house and whatnot, but I do think that they need a severe restructuring. They need to look at what works and what doesn't work and try to focus on that, and get back to making look at what worked in when the MCU started, and go back to that and be like, okay, you know what? Maybe we're going to get back to brass tacks here. We're going to kind of be a little bit more serious. We're going to make movies that people want to see, not movies that we think that they should be watching.
I go back and I just look at these movies from the 90s. So here's a list of Disney movies from 1990 to 1999, right? Look at all the range that they have here between The Rescuers here, Beauty and the Beast, obviously, White Fang. Remember White Fang, right? Like, come on.
VHS.
The Rocketeer, like, yeah, that bombed, but that movie, to me, I loved The Rocketeer.
It just came out at the wrong time. Great movie, though. It's beloved now.
Yeah, even Newsies, like, that's a musical that I watched with my kids a couple months ago. Mighty Ducks.
Christian Bale's in it.
Yes, Christian Bale. Speaking all New Yorker.
Mm-hmm.
Huck Finn, Cool Running, Homeward Bound, Three Musketeers, Hocus Pocus. This is like
Classics.
like all these are classics. Angels in the Outfield, Mighty Ducks 2, Iron Will, Blank Check of all things. Man, that movie was not very good, but it's fun when you're a kid, It's great. Obviously, Toy Story. Like, look at all these classics, certified classics. And for them to go in and just piss all that away with so many parents, and whether it's the production side of things or the social side of things, it's really amazing to see the change in that company, man. It's nuts. It's a mess.
It is too. I did funny enough, I did a video on Hocus Pocus. I talked to the production manager who built the Sanderson sisters' house, and he owns the book, the magic book from that. He loans it out.
That's cool.
And, so he sent me pictures of that, and I'm like, just cool stuff like that, where there was so much that went into that movie, and you look at all the effort and the work, and he sent me all these pictures of them building the Sanderson sisters' house, and how it was just this gigantic set. And now it's just a big green screen and everything's boring, and like people aren't putting now this isn't a rant to go off on CG, but it's more like an effort thing, because there are movies that have a lot of CG, but then there's a large amount of effort that goes into it too. Whereas a lot of these just feel like they're, assembly line productions where it's like, all right, we're going to do this, put this actor in it, this actor, and blah, 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 and come out. It'll make $1 billion. Like, look at the Lion King remake. It was all CG. People put a lot of work into it, and nobody talks about it anymore. But it made $1 billion.
Right. Exactly. And that's what it comes down to is it paid the bills.
Yeah.
Paid the bills, allowed them to invest in more of it. And right. But then there's always Snow White, which did not pay the bills. So
no. But I think it's more so that now, like when The Lion King came out, it was like people were still like, okay, we'll go to the movies. But now I think people are just kind of at the point where they're just tired of it. And Snow White just had a very unlikable lead.
Yes, I think she is the Alyssa Mercante of acting.
Pretty much. I'm sure you've probably had that video where she was like weird, and it's like,
it's hanging out. It's hanging out in our back end somewhere.
Weird.
I love how fast you pulled that up.
We're ready to go.